All right, so here we are. We are continuing to build this week one module. Now we are going to focus on the assignments, discussions, and quiz within that first week. And again, this is a model for what you can do for all 16 weeks of your online course. So back to Canvas. Here we are back in that week one module we worked with in the previous demonstration. And we'll say our content pages are ready to go. We'll give them a nice title as well, so they're not just content page 1, content page 2. But we will skip down to our work for the week. So we have week 1, assignment 1. We'll begin there by clicking on that. And then I will click on the edit button here. This is based on something called the transparent assignment template, which identifies not just what students have to do, but why they have to do it. And you might not need all of these elements here. So adjust them as is relevant to your course and to your learning objectives. But I recommend you keep at least some of the structure in place so that it's really clear on what students need to do. And here, make sure that you update your feedback turnaround. So if you need 5 days, make sure you put 5 days. If you need a little longer, a little shorter, just make sure it's realistic for you and for your students. Below the assignment, this is currently out of 10 points. You can adjust that if you need to. And it is currently open for text entry and file uploads. That provides students 2 different options on how they can submit their work. Currently, it has unlimited attempts, so they can resubmit as many times as they need to. And then finally, there is no due date. So you're going to want to refer to your class syllabus, the academic calendar, and of course, the module dates to choose a due date that makes the most sense. We'll just say February 14th as an example. When you have fixed all those settings up and of course put in your actual assignment prompts, you may scroll down to the very bottom and click Save and Publish. Then we have a rubric here. This rubric is fairly general. It's out of 10 points possible. If you find that you want to make it more specific or adjust some of the point values, just click this pencil icon at the top right, and you can change any aspect of it that you need. But I'm going to go ahead and proceed to click Next to the second assignment. This one is intended as a remedial or practice assignment. It's worth 0 points right now, and is intended to give individualized learning opportunities. Again, this is up to you, what makes sense in your course based on your curriculum, but it follows the same structure as the previous assignment that we saw. It even has a rubric in place, but you'll see there are no points attached to the rubric. Again, if you want to change that, click the pencil and you can make adjustments as you like. So again, when it comes time for you to put in your own content here, click that good old edit button. You'll probably want to delete this first part entirely and then adjust the yellow highlighted sections so they reflect your coursework. Again, points are out of 0 because this is practice, and you'll want to set a due date. And for me, I like it to be consistent for the entire module. So February 14th again, I'll click Save and Publish, check my work, and then proceed by clicking Next. And now here we are in the discussion forum. Again, this format is looking familiar to you already. What I'm going to start with is clicking the Edit button. And I will put in a discussion forum prompt and also a task. And really important, I will clearly identify if students need to make a reply to another student within the forum. I would argue that's a pretty essential component of these forums. For me, it's a requirement of every single one. But again, adjust these items as necessary. All of these links are good to go and are intended to help students understand how to view feedback. All these settings should be good to go. You can keep it graded. You can allow liking where students can give each other a thumbs up. It is worth 10 points. And for that due date, I will make it yet again, February 14th, just before midnight, and click Save and Publish. Notice here that there is a rubric in place. To view it, though, it's not at the bottom. We click these 3 vertical dots and then select Show Rubric. All right, so here it is. There are 2 sections, one for the initial post, one for the classmate response. You can click the pencil icon, adjust the points, adjust the comments as you see fit in your class. Now, finally, I will click Next to go to the week 1 quiz. First thing, I will click Edit, as always. Now, there are 2 tabs here, Details and Questions. Both of these are real important. We'll start with Details. You can, of course, give the quiz a name, but then we move on to the information. Here are some highlighted areas that you're going to want to clarify based on your class. How much time they have, what are you quizzing them on, what are the question types, and if they can use any materials during the quiz. Currently, this is set up as a 30-minute quiz with multiple attempts. You can have 2 tries, and whichever is the highest score is the one that will be kept in the Canvas gradebook. It is also set up so that students can see the correct answers only after their last attempt on that quiz, something I like to do. And then, of course, we'll want to adjust that due date, make it consistent with the rest of our module, February 14th, just before midnight. Now, before I click Save and Publish, I just want to show you one more thing. Scroll back up to the top. See the second tab under Questions. Currently, there's nothing here. See, the points are out of 0. What we need to do now is click the New Question button. And you can select if you want to make a multiple choice, true, false, fill in blank, essay, a formula. Lots of different possibilities here. Whatever makes sense for what you teach, select that one, write the question in the box, provide some possible answers for a multiple choice, and then, of course, click Update Question. Once you have created the desired number of questions, that is the point that you click Save and Publish. And I always like to click on Preview so I can take a look at the quiz and see what it looks like from the student side too. So there you have it. That was a very quick demonstration of how we build up some learning activities within that week 1 module. And of course, remember that this process can be duplicated in all 16 modules throughout the semester. This first week is just an example. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps.